The trees of this calm neighborhood in Carrollton separated from the busy streets of Isle of Wight County. It's the type of place you wouldn't just stumble upon, you'd be looking for it. And it appears someone was the morning of October 2nd, 2013.
911, where's your emergency?
Hi.
What's going on?
Hi, my daughter was abducted.
The frantic father called 911 with an alarming story. Someone kidnapped his 11-year-old daughter, but hours later dropped her back off in her neighborhood.
Just calm down, okay? Just breathe for me. I know. I understand.
The little girl was just trying to get to the bus stop that morning here in this neighborhood in Carrollton. Her parents had already left for work. But before the little girl could get to that bus stop, a man came up to her.
She told me that a stranger drove up, said, "Get in the car." She said no. She was screaming at the top of the lungs.
Screaming, but not able to get away. The man grabbed her and forced her into the car. By the time her kidnapper brought her back, it was just after noon. Sheriff's deputies responded, and investigators like Lieutenant Tommy Potter began working the case. A case that's still unsolved.
This is a very disturbing course of events.
Investigators gave News 3 exclusive access to the case file to capture a kidnapper. The girl had a vivid memory of what happened that day. She helped investigators put together this sketch, but there's one characteristic that's hard to illustrate.
Exact words were freckles, freckles, freckles everywhere.
She also remembered his car as looking similar to this Chevy Cavalier. A surveillance camera caught the car driving through Suffolk. During the drive, the man sexually assaulted the girl twice, including once in the woods off of this road in Isle of Wight County. And the man kept apologizing.
I think it shows someone who definitely knows right from wrong. And I think that was the ultimate decision that led him to dropping her back off.
And once he did, the victim used her memory to help investigators, even telling them about Christmas ornaments similar to these the man had in his car.
These type of cases, when a tip comes in, no matter at the end of the day how tired you are, is you find something within you to kind of give it the extra, little get up and go.
That drive to finally catch this kidnapper keeps them going. Lieutenant Potter says investigators won't give up.
This has been an exhaustive and in-depth case. We're going to catch him.
Friends of Michelle Hull drove up to RJ's restaurant in Newport News tonight on their motorcycles. They even brought hers. They say this is the way she would have wanted to be remembered, but there was more to her than just her motorcycle.
She was one of the happiest people in the world. She had a beautiful smile.
Her friends handed out pictures of that smile. Part of the proceeds from the restaurant sales went to Hull's family.
And I just thought this was just a beautiful picture of her, so brought a bunch to give to her friends.
Investigators found Hull's body on Sunday in a trash can at Dixie Fuel Company. Michael Curlin is charged with hiding her body, but the medical examiner still hasn't explained how she died.
That was devastating, absolutely devastating. We had all prayed that it wasn't going to turn out like that, but unfortunately it did.
Inside,
coming down on a sunny day.
The restaurant was packed. It's clear Hull had a lot of friends. Many of them tried to find her. No one had heard from her for a few days until her body was found. Her uncle thanked them tonight.
Had it not been for these people, Michelle may not have been found yet.
And while they don't have answers now,
we're going to miss her a lot.
Her friends made tribute to a Facebook post she recently wrote, saying to forgive often and love deep. And like her motorcycle, that might be the best way to remember her. In Newport News, Brendan Ponton, News 3.
Cooking fresh, organic, and locally grown produce will soon be available to families of every income level in Hampton Roads.
It's all about access, and it's all about knowledge.
Bev Seller is the founder of the 5 Points Community Farm Market, which is getting a commercial kitchen thanks to a $40,000 grant from Bon Secours.
We have an epidemic of poor health here. We've got to solve that, and we want to be a part of the solution and not part of the problem.
Through the Passport to Health program from Bon Secours, people can learn to cook with these ingredients.
We'll have classes for teenagers so they can learn how to cook. They're making their food choices and their buying choices, and we want to be able to reach them.
The kitchen will help small business owners too. There's already a waiting list to use the kitchen to make things including hummus right here in the middle of Norfolk.
Very, very expensive and hard to find a place that you can mass produce. So I'm really grateful to have this kitchen and this opportunity.
It'll be at least a month before the 375 square foot kitchen is fired up. Bev believes it will be part of the solution to a healthier Hampton Roads.
But I think people, once they realize the health issues, the diabetes, the heart disease, the consequences, that's what's going to make them turn that corner and decide to be healthy.
Even if it's one leafy green at a time.
But I was blown away by the response for sure.
More than 1,000 Facebook shares later, John Elliott's gray Acura is back in his driveway where it belongs. It was stolen from a Virginia Beach fire station yesterday morning. Elliott left it running and went inside to grab a bag. He came back less than a minute later and it was gone.
I'm super happy to have my car back. I got most of my belongings back, so that was definitely a great thing.
Early Tuesday morning, Elliott got the call he waited for all Monday. His car was found and it only had minor damage, all thanks to a woman who spotted the car and took action.
When she saw the story, she made the effort to go through the fire department and get in touch with me, so I was grateful that she took the time to do that and kind of give me her side of the story, and also allowed me to put the detective in touch with her to follow up.
Elliott doesn't doubt his post going viral locally helped get his car back in less than 24 hours.
I do feel like probably all of those shares, all the exposure, had a lot to do with why he was laying low in the first place, why he went tucked back in the neighborhood and ended up in her driveway.
And even though Elliott's laptop is still missing, he's glad he's back behind the wheel of his new car.
This is the car I want. I'm sticking with this one for a while.
Stick with it, he will. Especially since he promised the keys won't be in his car unless he's in it.
The sub shop on the corner of King Street and Confederate Avenue in Portsmouth sits boarded up and closed. It's like a scar that hasn't healed, a reminder that the murder of an 18-year-old remains unsolved. January 20th, 2015, just after 9:30, police rushed to Philadelphia Cold Cuts for the report of shots fired. Once there, they find Omar Booker lying on the floor. The shop's cook was dead.
That's a night I'll never forget.
Omar's mom, Maxine Vincent, spoke to her son on the phone just 20 minutes earlier.
He said, I got you a sub, Mama. I'll be home. He said, in a few minutes.
But Omar never made it home.
That just ripped my heart out my chest. But that was my baby boy.
Omar's mom says he was in the back of the shop that night about to take out the trash. The shop's owner was in the front counting the money. And the next thing they knew that night, someone started shooting.
Why did they kill Jim? For what? Nothing.
Why and who? Police tried to quickly answer those questions, releasing this surveillance video 2 days later. In it, you see two people running toward and then away from the sub shop right around the time of the murder. Police still don't know who these two are, but believe they're the ones who did it.
They got two guys running from the scene, but they can't identify them. Why not?
The sidewalk outside the shop reads RIPO, the good die young. It's been more than a year since this all happened, and Omar's family is now hoping someone will give them the answer they need.
Yes, please come forward to the police and tell them something, because I have no peace. I have no peace at all.
No peace, and also not much physical evidence. Portsmouth Police Detective Kevin Jonikin says that's making it tough to solve. Omar's family says he pretty much just went to school and work. He stayed out of trouble, but for some reason, that wasn't enough.
I think about it all the time. It stays on my mind all the time. That they killed my son like that for nothing.
A $10,000 reward also didn't lead to any answers. So Omar's son is now growing up without his father. Quentin is now 2. His family had to explain the loving father wouldn't be back.
We show him pictures like, that's your daddy, he's in heaven.
In heaven, but they believe he's still with them. His mom now has a tattoo in tribute to Omar on her arm.
That's my angel. He was an angel. I carry him here every day for the rest of my life till I take my last breath.